Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Phineas and Ferb Star Wars. This is a special of a series of specials they've done with different properties in the Disney oeuvre. They also did a Marvel one and a few others here and there. But of course, hey, Star Wars. This came out in 2014. It's 54 minutes long, and 2014 minutes means that it came out the year before the sequel trilogy began. So there's no references to those. This is takes place very much during Episode 4, A New Hope, and sort of sits out. We get to follow our heroes, Phineas and Ferb, and of course Candace. She's a stormtrooper. She's a bad guy, and their sister, and you get to see their adventures with them and their friends. Just sort of on the fringes of the main storyline that we know from the original film. And they interact with each of the characters, Luke and Leia and Han and Chewie and everybody else along the way. Obi-Wan's not in this, strangely enough. There's references to him, but we don't see him, I don't think. Anyway, there's it's a musical, of course, so there's lots of big musical numbers throughout. Did I say it's 54 minutes? So this was listed as a short in my thing. It's not really. It's a full double episode of a normal Phineas and Ferb show. So yeah, it's got Ashley Tisdale as Candace, of course, as usual. You can't have a musical starring. You can't have a show starring Ashley Tisdale and not have it be a musical. She wasn't she part of the High School Musical gang, you know. So yeah, she sings in this. Yeah, of course, this is done by Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy Marsh. They're the creators of Phineas and Ferb, and of course, their voices are found throughout this. Povenmire is Darthen Schmertz. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how they put that together. Darthen Schmertz. But D. Bradley Baker, which we all know from Star Wars, also he's does all the voices of the clones and so many other characters. But you'll be surprised to know that there's a number of actual big names doing some of the voices in this. I mean, beyond Ross Marquand, if you know that guy's name, he does Han Solo's voice, and he does a ton of impressions. But he was also in Avengers Infinity War. He played the Red Skull. But you also might know him from The Walking Dead. And but look up Russ Marquand, Marquand, Russ. Why do I want to say? Why do I want to say Ross all of a sudden? It's, jeez, come on, it's Ross. It is Ross. Ross Marquand. Look that up. Look up his impressions, and he's amazing. He does so many great impressions. And one of the other voices in this, a very small part, believe it or not, Anthony Daniels did not provide the voice for C-3PO. He's almost every time C-3PO shows up in anything, especially well done by Lucasfilm anyway, he provides the voice of C-3PO, and it's a video game or any random cartoon, if it's a short, whatever it is, he's in this. But this time he wasn't. This is more of a parody and a satire, and it's not canon. They make sure you know that right from the very beginning. This is not canon, so chill out. Instead, Simon Pegg provides the voice of C-3PO, who he was in. He's done Unkar Plot in Force Awakens, but you also know him from Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and World's End and Spaced and so many other things that he's done over the years. He was Scotty in the Star Trek J.J. Abrams film. So yeah, it's kind of neat to see him. He also did a parody with his friend Nick Frost of C-3PO and R2-D2 where they dressed up in roughly made costumes and played out the desert sequences from the original film in their costumes. So it's kind of funny. So yeah. The Mythbusters are in this too. Adam Savage and what you call it, and James, whatever, Hyman. The two of them are in this as stormtroopers working in an office. So yeah, there's a ton of little jokes throughout this, jabs at Star Wars. The same kind of way that Family Guy did these kind of things, playing with the tropes and the concepts that we already know with Star Wars and the things that we love and the things that bother us a little bit sometimes. But this is a very much more rated G than anything Family Guy has ever done. So yes, this is something that kids can enjoy and adults as well. And if you're a super Star Wars nerd like me, they name drop and also visual drop. I don't know if that's a term, but they make so many references to so many little things that were never even mentioned by name in the Star Wars films. In one of the songs, they mentioned the T-16 Skyhopper. They're flying in that through the Beggar's Canyon. I mean, yeah, Luke mentions that, but I don't think, did he say it was his T-16? But you see him playing with this little toy in A New Hope, and then you also see, if you watch the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series, you figure out where he got that. Eventually, even though Owen sent it back, but you know he's going to end up with one eventually. So, yeah, there's just lots of little things thrown throughout this, in the songs, in the scenes, and all the comedy bits. And, of course, there's also, since the prequel trilogy does exist in this, there are lots of prequel references as well. So pod racing, there's a Jar Jar reference by name, and let's see what else. Just Naboo. So there's lots of other just goofy fun references throughout. So if you love Star Wars, you love Phineas and Ferb, and how can you not? This is worthwhile watching, no matter what age you are. Don't expect this to be, oh, it's just for kids. You know what? Yeah, it's meant for kids, but it's one of those rare things that you don't have to have a kid sitting next to you to watch it. It's just absolutely good fun. Great comedy. And the guys who make this love Star Wars, too. You can just tell. So, yeah, there's... I barely scratched the surface when it came to the amount of people who are doing voices in this. Wayne Brady's in this somewhere. It's just... could go on, but I'm not going to. You just have to check it out yourself. But you might recognize a few. All right, let's pick tomorrow's episode.
602.
602. Shouldn't it as well? 602. Ooh, almost to the end. Oh my gosh. This is our first documentary nature thing that we've had in a long time. We've been doing movies and series and shorts like crazy, and not to mention all the stuff that I chose specifically, like Obi-Wan and Ms. Marvel and other things like that over the last run, but we have not had a nature documentary thing in a long time. And I don't know how many, if this is multiple episodes or it's just one thing, but we'll find out soon enough when we watch Wild Congo next week. It feels like we may have already watched this because there's so many things. It's the Wild series from National Geographic. There's a lot of them that start with Wild, and I think there's more coming in the next quarter that they just added. I don't know. I know there's a lot of ESPN stuff being added to Disney Plus too, so our chances of getting documentaries is going to go up a lot after July 1st. When we start our next quarter. But for now, assuming, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to make sure that we haven't already seen this and I forgot to check it off, but assuming that we haven't seen it yet, tomorrow, Wild Congo on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you then.